Mustangs are bigger in Texas, but inside the Metroplex, there's only room for one. 3 letters will define your allegiance. SMU, TCU. 3 words will define the outcome. The Iron Skillet. For the 99th time, this rivalry is renewed. Size this one up. It's big. It's really big. The SMU Mustangs and the TCU Horned Frogs. Game number 2 here on FS1 this fall Saturday afternoon. Hi again, everyone. Tim Brando saddling up with my old podsy right here. Spencer Tillman, Coley Harvey, you'll hear from shortly. You know, this is a Big 12 team, though, TCU, Spencer, that may be vastly underrated. And by the way, their 19-year head coach is fine with that.
Well, he's excited about it because he gets a chance to prove people wrong. Remember, this was a team last year, Timmy, that got bowl eligible on the final game of the season. And, of course, that season included a loss to Kansas. I think they're well on their way on the defensive side of the ball. But to do it offensively, they're going to have to do it with a couple of quarterbacks. I think Max Duggan is the future. This is the true freshman long-term for their offense to really thrive. He is the guy that's going to carry them there. The runner, Alex Delton, opposite of him, he deserves to be in that leadership role as well. He will remain a captain as well. So you can compare their numbers and look at them. The bottom line is this. They will navigate the situation like they should, with respect. I think this is a smart move. Max is the future. Alex Delton. Now, ultimately, on the opposite side, it is clear who is the leader. Shane Buechele for SMU is their top gun. Fortunate through the portal, they acquired him from Texas. As you said, he comes with big-time pedigree. That's my Tim Brando impersonation. He is a stud. He's absolutely exciting to watch, and I think Sonny Dykes and Rhett Lashley, the offensive coordinator and head coach, respectively, are leaning on him to carry the day.
All right, it's not high noon. It's a little later than that. But in this one, partner, it's about who's got the quickest gun.
I'm giving my pregame speech. Look, guys, it's been a long time since we've been in this position. We've got a good team, and we have a chance to beat these Horned Frogs. We're going to beat them down like they should be beat. We're going to take this skillet, this Iron Skillet, and take it back to Dallas, Texas for a year and let them come over and visit it. So go Mustangs.
Ah, the ultimate pony. Eric Dickerson there getting his team ready to go. It is SMU number 25 TCU, and as our custom, here's Coley and the coach, Sonny Dykes.
Hey, Tim, thank you for that, Coach. You guys have 65 first-year players on this team. How do you get them ready for this game against this opponent in a rivalry game?
Well, it's a big game for us. Just a good test for our program, see where we are. You know, a lot of guys have come in. They've had a great attitude. We've got a great leadership in our program, and they've taken on the new players and really done a good job of conforming to what we want to do and have given us a bump in our talent and our depth.
Yeah, well, best of luck to you. We're going to send it right back to you, Tim.
All right, thank you.
How about that Dallas insignia on the coach's shirt, as well as the jerseys of these players? Now, they've worn that before, but not this year. I think it adds a little something to the rivalry that is Dallas and Fort Worth.
That's what I was getting ready to say. The last time I checked, everybody refers to it as the Plex, the Metroplex, meaning both Dallas and Fort Worth. But it's clear this is a single opportunity here for that Dallas phrase. That's big time.
It's interesting. Gary Patterson is 19 years, actually employed Sonny Dykes while he was between jobs. He was an offensive analyst here back in 2017 before he was named the head coach at SMU. Gary, of course, has been a fixture in this program, and I mean, without a doubt, the grinder of all grinders when it comes to defenses. Now, the TCU won the toss, deferred, so SMU will receive. It's scorching hot here, 90 degrees. All of that weather from the tropics did not impact this area of North Texas whatsoever, and it is every bit as hot as you would expect this time of September.
Well, both these teams are accustomed to the heat, so there's no advantage there. This is about training and conditioning for sure, but both of them are operating from the same context. It's hot.
Griffin Kell will kick it away. Freshman from Arlington, Texas. Toe meets leather, and this one will squib down and make its way. Wow. It did go out of bounds before it got to the end zone.
Kick out of bounds. Kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
So that means good field position for SMU as they make their way out. This is a much improved offensive line. Alan Ali, the center, the sophomore. Keep an eye on that young man. They've got some outstanding playmakers on the edge, Spencer.
Well, they do have outstanding playmakers, but what makes that happen is Halen Howard at that left guard. Some big, strong guys up that can move and establish this run game. The guys on the edge will have success if the run game thrives early.
Xavier Jones is in the backfield. He's the senior. You'll see 3 of them today, but Kamen Freeman has also been outstanding. He'll get almost as many touches. There's a quick out pattern to James Buechele. Buechele is the possession receiver. They love to go to him to move the chains. And when you talk about Buechele, this redshirt junior, grad transfer captain, really almost went to UCLA out of that transfer portal, was just what the doctor ordered for Sonny Dykes. A little chicanery. Oh, look at Flea Flicker.
Wide open.
Wide open. Granson. He's got it. And the wide receiver that they can line up from time to time at tight end makes the catch. Keon Stewart runs him down 46 yards, a big play.
Trayon Meagher was on the backside. He's in that secondary. The free safety, in fact, takes him a little bit while to get over there. He's breaking on the ball. He gets behind the coverage. Outstanding pitch and catch.
And there's Buechele again. And he'll get it down to about the 5-yard line before he's bumped out by Stewart.
Well, that's a great way to get somebody back on their heels. Now all of a sudden an aggressive defense has got to think twice before they start bringing pressure.
Air raid and very quick, isn't it? Yep. Right out of the gates, Xavier Jones burrows ahead to about the 4-yard line. You're right, Buechele almost ran out of time on that last pitch, but that showed some strength as he was able to get it out of there for that 46-yard connection.
Yeah, no question. That was actually pressure being brought on that play, and because it changed hands 3 times, it almost got to him. But the fact that it was successful, as we look at a full vertical look here, an opportunity to take a shot. Look for the receiver in the slot real quick. Oh, maybe draw.
Touchdown. Nice. How about
Good
that?
job spreading them out.
Did it with formation.
Yep.
And the Mustangs take the early lead, which, by the way, has been the custom the last handful of years in this series.
The numbers in the box tell you the story. Again, with the 4 vertical looks, that means 4 wide receivers spread out. They were able to get the look that they wanted, and you count the numbers in between the tackles. SMU had 5. You only had 3 for TCU to block them. It's a numbers game, Tim. Run where they ain't.
Luke Hogan will try for the extra point. Transfer from West Virginia. They've had all kinds of problems with extra points and field goals. This particular adventure goes easily. Only 3 yards rushing all season, but a 4-yarder on that touchdown. But it all started with Granson on the receiving end after the flea flicker. And Buechele with all the eyes of Texas watching. 7-0 our score. 5 plays, 65 yards, and take a look at this last touchdown conversion.
Timmy, tech in the grass is not just a concept in the throw game. It also applies in the run game. Look at the box here. There are 5 guys in white jerseys here. Alternately, there are only 2 defenders inside for TCU. SMU sees that, recognizes it. Buechele pulls it down and goes and scores. That's outstanding play calling, but as you pointed out, partner, the formation is what made it happen. 4 vertical look outside, and everybody ran out. They play a lot of man coverage here at TCU. You got to be mindful of that because this quarterback can run and hurt you.
Russell Roberts kicks it away, and it's taken by one of the upbacks, DeMarcano, number 3. And the junior from Inglewood, California, stopped at the 25-yard line. This is a TCU offensive front that's rugged and really outstanding. Anthony McKinney at that tackle spot, and Egwangwu, the guard, magnificent, and huge playmakers on the edge with tremendous speed.
Again, the narrative almost sounds the same. Egwangwu Cordell, the left guard position, he is the anchor up front for them, a power pusher, more athletic than you would typically see playing at that guard position.
There you see Duggan, his first career start. He has had more reps and has finished each of the first 2 games. They did have the week off prior to the Purdue matchup. They blew Purdue off the line of scrimmage last week. That pass was short-armed in the direction of Jalen Reagor, incomplete. This is probably the best defense SMU's had in years. Kevin Kane, their defensive coordinator, has outstanding linebacker play. Patrick Nelson, Richard Moore, keep an eye on those 2 playmakers and the secondary, much better than people believe.
Yeah, 2 and 14 out the will linebacker, Patrick Nelson, and then, of course, Richard Moore, as you said, the middle linebacker. Those are the 2 guys that are the captains of this unit. All the plays flow through them.
On 2nd and 10, Darius Anderson.
Nice speed back there in the backfield.
5'11" senior from Richmond, Texas, is stopped in his tracks.
Zach Abercrombie was back there playing that defensive tackle position. He got in there in a hurry and rode him down.
Big kid out of Skyline High School by way of Rice. One of the very few they got out of the transfer portal defensively. Their defense only gives up 27% of the time on third down. They've been outstanding in getting off the field. It's third down and 6. Anderson back in at play the option. Magnificent work by Delontre Scott, number 35, the senior from Irving. He was in there almost the time the ball was handed.
Scott playing a wide 7 technique. He's angled inside. Boy, there's no better way to play this technique. The quarterback doesn't make a clean mesh out of here, and he decides to pull it out, and he plays both of it. That's textbook. I mean, you're reading like a computer. You make a play like that, man. That's big time. There's no defense for that, Tim.
Well, they got 5 yards by way of penalty. Their other 3 plays went for no yards, -1, -1, and they'll have to punt it out of there. Jordan Sandy, the 26-year-old freshman from Australia, boots it away with Buechele back deep. Little room for him, and he's taken out quickly just past the 25. A 53-yard boot, a 3-yard return. SMU with a quick burst and a 7-0 lead. Their second possession coming right at you. With Spencer Tillman and Coley Harvey, Tim Brando. Look at that defense authored by Gary Patterson up front. Boy, Blackshear and Blacklock on the left side are magnificent. Keep an eye on those two. And the linebacker, Garrett Wallow, leading tackler from moving outside inside in that ever-present and ever-moving TCU defense.
Yeah, but so far, again, in the 4 attempts that they've had on opening drives in their 4 contests, SMU has scored touchdowns 3 times, Timmy. So TCU has not made them play left-handed or taken what has been a strength against lesser competition acknowledged.
On first down, Xavier Jones ahead for 3. He had 20 carries for 108. This team against Texas State had a pair of 100-plus yard rushers. TJ McDaniel, the freshman of some influence, had a big day, 159 of those yards. You'll see him later. Gain of 2 there, second down and 8. Out of the shotgun again. Wow. Jones pops free. He's got a first down out to the 45, a 16-yard gain. Ennis Gaines, number 6, the senior from Beaumont, with the stop.
This looks like La Tech, man, back in the olden days. I'm like, good gosh. This is not supposed to happen, Timmy. And the good thing about it, if you're SMU, your quarterback went 3 for 3. He was perfect in the throw game.
Buechele stepping up. Oh, boy, he stayed up and direct and made that throw to Robertson again. He's got it inside the 20. Big plays for SMU. Merrick again, number 7 with the stop. That's 35 yards, and Buechele is warming up.
Well, I'll tell you, this was a great play design with a drag backside. And he comes, the receiver does, as they go pace and tempo, using as a tactical advantage to keep these Horned Frogs on their heels.
Jones gets it down to the 15. Here's another look at that play just a moment ago.
The tandem formation has the receiver coming underneath, and he's going to clear out of that garbage and then just take a nice little flat route underneath and gets vertical immediately and gets extra yards. A nice stiff arm gains him an additional 9 yards.
Cayman Freeman is in the game now, number 2, the senior from Texarkana. Nothing doing this time for Cayman Freeman. Stuck right at the point of attack by Wallow, 30. Man, does he get in there fast. So typical of Gary Patterson defenses. He moves him from outside to inside. He immediately takes over the game with Purdue. And they'll move players around from their high school days and even during their days here as collegians. Xavier Jones has come in.
Here's a tight 5-wide look.
On 3rd and goal. There it is. Just shy of the goal line. He hit the deck at about the 1, did Xavier Jones. Pass was thrown a little behind him. Now they're going tempo at the 1-yard line here.
Well, his hind marks were down, and
this is it. 4th down. He's stuffed.
Wow.
Big defensive stand for TCU. Ross Blacklock, number 90, the junior from Missouri City, Texas. You know, I think they may have outsmarted themselves trying to go quickly that time, Spence.
Well, we just mentioned number 90, Blacklock. He's a load, man. You're not going to move him around. Mo City representing in the house.
Remember, they've also had problems with field goals and extra points, too. Horned Frogs with a huge stop. Let's see if the mojo changes here.
Tim, a lot of times when you want to attack the grass, here's the spot where you're really looking for right here. And I understand what Buechele is doing, but prior to this, remember now, despite the fact that you're down here, he was 5 of 6 for 102 yards. They ran a double tandem look on the outside to draw him in, and then they ran inside twice. Now you got eye discipline trained back inside. I took taking a shot to the pass on the edge, get an isolation.
Well, they certainly didn't use formation to their advantage as they did on the first touchdown.
Yep.
From the 1-yard line now. Lua runs into the ball's loose. Does SMU have it?
Right
they
back.
say
Wow.
they do, and they do. That is a huge defensive play. And by the way, one of the reasons you go for it on 4th down, you know you've got him pinned. Lua was carrying the ball and was hammered inside, and Patrick Nelson, number 2, with the recovery. Let's see who got the first hit. There it is, and a strip. It's McBride, number 50, young man that's transferred from Auburn, a graduate senior. Richard McBride stripping it out of there, and Patrick Nelson, the do-everything outside backer, originally from Illinois, out of Chicago, a tough kid. Already has an interception this year, now a fumble recovery.
Sam Backer was in there as well, as you pointed out. Delano Robinson, all 5'10", 209 pounds of him. He got in there as well. Wow.
Buechele back in, goes to Jones, and Xavier Jones touchdown.
SMU.
8th rushing touchdown of the year. And right now the Mustangs have control.
Well, you win the line of scrimmage in these green zone scenarios. 5 yards inside. It's just a base play. Who's going to win? You know, they got a nice movement up front. Nice job of Wallow getting in there. Garrett did at his Sam position. He actually moves inside, sees a little vacant spot.
Look at this.
But he got inside.
Look at this formation. Look at this. For 2. And he's got it. That's Kamen Freeman. And TCU was totally surprised by that. And again, when you're struggling with extra points and field goals, as SMU has all season long, this is what you do.
Wow.
Kicking game was a massive liability. And they've addressed it by going for 2. Oh, even Tim McGraw would love that start for SMU. This is the largest lead, by the way, of 15 that SMU's had against TCU since back in 2011.
3 3-and-outs, a punt and a fumble. That's what TCU has produced on
Little
offense.
sky kick. Boy, they're pulling out everything here.
Yep.
Darius Anderson is in the backfield. Stutter step. Ahead for 4, maybe 5. To the 45-yard line. Tackle made by Delano Robinson, number 3. Youngster out of Denton, Texas, just north of here. Home to North Texas, a team that SMU handled earlier in the year.
The problem with TCU right now is they're going to have to throw it eventually. They can stay with the run game for a little while. If they get behind any further, they're going to have to start throwing it, and that's a problem for them. Hadn't played as many games and not as crisp in that area.
Little reverse to Rager. Get it to Jalen. The human hiccup. Inside the 30 to the 26. There's speed, and then there's Rager. 4.2940. Richard McBride runs him down.
Well, I love how Sonny Cummey is working this. He says, look, we don't have to get it vertically down the field. A lot of criticism about this program not pushing the ball downfield when you consider the pedigree of the guy calling the plays. But he knows they're not fully developed at that position. They're a little rusty. Once they get there, they'll be fine. But until then, put it in the hands of Rager in the reverse. He'll make it for you.
A pistol look. Anderson trying to get it to the edge.
Anderson's got great speed. Well, that's one thing he can do. He can get to that edge and got 5 additional yards because of that great speed.
Give him a gain of 2 for a 2nd and 8 coming up. Carter Ware, an extra tight end, comes in, 47. It's like they're going to go with a power formation here.
Duggan is still not completed a pass, Tim.
Yeah, had a lot of drops. 5 big ones early in that game with Purdue. He's going to jump in here. Corner route. In the back of the end zone, incomplete. He was looking for Rager. Brandon Stevens, number 26. Young man from Plano, Texas. Transferred from UCLA. Good coverage.
Ro Wells had a shot like that against Purdue, and it was impressive, too. So they like that corner route over there and the fade. Great shots. Stevens showing you he's got great ball skills in the back end as well.
It's a heck of a play.
Yep.
3rd and 8. With Anderson remaining in the backfield. Rager up at the top of your screen.
SMU mixing things up on the back end.
Right up the gut. Anderson, touchdown. His 3rd rushing touchdown.
Timmy, on the outside, sometimes you guess right, sometimes you guess wrong. When the quarterback can put that in man on the line of scrimmage in sort of no man's land, that's the way you run the option route. You make him make that decision at the last second possible. Anderson got him in there with the speed.
Jonathan Song is 5 for 5 in extra points. Sound the horns, the Horn Frogs. Fine pay dirt. Darius Anderson taking advantage of that spread formation against Spencer.
Yep.
With a 14-yard touchdown run. The big play was the Rager reverse that got him on the doorstep that time.
They needed that in a big way, Tim, because that drive helped them kind of carve away at that disparity in time possession. One of the things that TCU has done against opponents is dominated the time of possession. It was 4-1 in favor of SMU prior to that last drive.
Here's C.J. Sanders from his 1.
Wow, what a move.
And he's taken out of bounds up to the 28-yard line. T.J. McDaniel going to get his first playing time of the afternoon. The celebrated freshman we were talking about. Young man is mature beyond his years with great patience. O'Shawn Mathis, number 32, makes the stop. Look at that, 159 yards, just a little under 20 per tote. Most in career debut in SMU history. That says a lot given the history here with Dickerson and Craig James being part of the storied past of Southern Methodist University.
He's smaller than Craig James, but I see a little bit of Craig James in him, though.
Quick out. Looked like some confusion that time with Prochet and Robertson.
You know, those choice routes, the quarterback and the receiver has to see the same thing. And it's an out cut, at least that's what Prochet read it as. The quarterback has got to see the same in order to execute.
3rd and 10. Play fake. Buechele, he loves the deep ball. Throws it beautifully. How about that? Along the sidelines, they're going to rule it a catch at the 44-yard line by Robertson.
And they have been working on Trayvon Merrick, the safety, the free safety. He's had to come a long way in that single safety set to get back over there.
Rolling on the field is an incomplete pass.
Oh, they're going to rule it incomplete. Well, I saw it ruled a catch, and then the ball was rolled out. It did come out late. Yep.
They didn't complete it.
The line judge went over right away and spotted it. That's why we called it. Gladney knew it right away, didn't he? Warren Scott will boot it away. 4 punts for 37.8 yards against Texas State. Jalen Rager is back deep. You know how dangerous he is. He'll let this one go. Pressure. He fumbles it. It's on the ground. SMU's got it. Number 10, Demerick Gary. He's on top of it, and the Mustangs are in great shape again. It's Turner Coates, 97, the youngster from Highland Park in Dallas that knocked it free. Wow, talk about an opportunistic SMU defense, and they are playing with physicality early.
Well, they come in early, and it's because the game's in the deals that frees up Demerick Gary, number 10, the defensive tackle, Tim. It's really impressive to watch these guys go because it's those natural rubs that's created when these big, heavy guys are twisting and turning up front that allows them to become free to see a ball and get on it. Outstanding job, first of all, of calling the games and the deals up front.
Kevin Kane, the defensive coordinator with SMU, comes over from Rod Carey's Northern Illinois team.
He's smart.
He is an outstanding young coach. Also coached at Wisconsin and at Kansas in his past. A young man that's on the fast track. He's got to be pleased with his D. Buechele under pressure on the edge. Just unloaded at that time.
That's a smart decision to him. He was looking for the post corner No one was over there, but again, because the pressure was hit him, he had to get that ball out.
Yeah, good idea to get outside the tackle box before he unloaded it, too. O'Shawn Harris with a lot of heat that time on number 7.
You know, sometimes when you're playing with a lead or where your game plan is working, you notice they slowed the pace and tempo down right now. They've got this TCU team is used to dominating, controlling the ball in the time of possession. They've totally flipped the script on TCU now. They can play slower and pick their opportunities.
Branson, 83, who had the big catch on the opening drive, is in the game. Xavier Jones stumbles forward to the 25. Nothing doing that time. Ross Blacklock, number 90, in there quickly to cover him up. It's 3rd down and 11 now.
Let's see what Rhett Lashley dials up. Again, he's going to be focused on where the weakness is on this man-heavy concept. When you see a single safety, Morrig sending back in the 7th spot, single high, now they got cover 2. Oh, they're coming down 0 look. No safeties over the top. Somebody's going to be open.
And it's Xavier Jones. Xavier run out of bounds at the 21, well short of the necessary yardage needed, so it's 4th down. You figure with their kicking woes, this is 4-down territory.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, because TCU has done nothing to really stop them per se, and they've given them 2 opportunities with turnovers down in this area.
I think that play indicated it. The one they called indicated it was 4-down territory.
No question.
So it is Luke Hogan. Sat out due to transfer a year ago. This will be a 38-yard attempt. Snap, spot, and the kick. Ooh, did he get it through?
Yep, he got it.
Yeah, we've got an alert.
That's the end.
We have a football alert. The worst team in all of college football history in field goal kicking just made one. That's from their coach, by the way, not from the announcer. We've come to the end of one. SMU throwing a little bit of an early party here in Fort Worth. They have the lead.
Time of possession has been dominant by TCU. Not so much today. Throw game has been something that they've been able to balance and effective. TCU has not stopped that. So it's been amazing.
This boot will be through the end zone now with the wind. First and 10 with the ball at the 20. And it's Darius Anderson. Oh, is he slippery? Look out! More than slippery. All the way. Touchdown. 80 yards.
Darius Anderson is a playmaker, man. He's got great speed.
Spencer, he stepped out.
Did he?
Yeah, I thought he stepped out.
With that left leg crossed over.
He's down there short of the goal line, but he also stepped out. That's Eric Sutton there with the tackle.
The runner's left foot was out of bounds with the ball at the 3-yard line. It will be 1st down and goal for TCU at that spot.
No, you were more accurate than I was. 77 yards. It was a heck of a run. Let's give him a lot of credit. Anderson, magnificent here.
Yeah, instinct, speed, the spin move. And you know me, I'm a stickler for detail. I think if he puts that hand in the left arm, and maybe you fend one guy off, but he was a little bit weary at the end of that run, too.
A lot of times, right, you get a little surprised that it's, oh, man, this thing opened up. I could score. And then you're breathing heavy as you get to about the 10-yard line. 1st and goal now. Anderson, with the pause to look at the replay, he's able to stay in the game. Duggan remains the quarterback. Anderson, touchdown. His 4th of the season, his 2nd today. And you're so right, Spencer. Inflection points.
Yep.
That sequence there on the interception in the end zone, a penalty that was missed, and then the big play, the 77-yard run. It really kind of turns the game around, and Jonathan Song comes in for the extra point. It's almost like Dykes has seen this, and so has SMU play out many times before. Entertaining game, though.
Yeah, it is.
They said it would be bigger and better.
That's Dallas.
Oh, it's the Iron Skillet, my man. That old adage, Spencer, that games are more lost than they are won.
Oh, yes.
3 takeaways for SMU, 10 points off. TCU gets the takeaway. And
turnovers in this game has been amazing. Both teams combining for those. TCU has 3 of them.
Sanders with the fair catch. 2nd and 10. Buechele. Boy, he's so resourceful. He is playing like the veteran that they knew he was. And Spencer, give the young man credit. Got his degree at Texas and would drive up on weekends to spend time with this team during that transfer opportunity. And that's one of the reasons why he was held in such high regard by his teammates. There's the quick out to Buechele and the first down.
So now when they get in a situation where they feel like they can press and move a little bit, the tempo picks up. But, Tim, the prior play, K'Mon Freeman, number 2, came out. This ultimately could end up being a run-pass option. No one is defending him off the mesh, and so he's wide open. I got to believe that Red Lashley is seeing that, and you'll see that formation come up again.
Using that bunch formation again down at the bottom.
He got him a screen. He's got him in the vertical.
Looking deep for Robertson. He's got it inside the 10.
Wow, what a great job of placing that ball exactly where it needed to be.
You remember the first time Texas was back? It was after a Buechele throw against Notre Dame that was in the end zone that looked a lot like that.
Yeah, and this is the 3rd time they've caught TCU in that single high safety look. Trayvon Merrick is back there alone trying to cover that distance, and when you got a quarterback that is that accurate, it's tough to make that clearance.
K'Mon Freeman gets it down to the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal coming. Buechele has been impressive.
Oh, he is impressive, man. That's what a find.
Yeah, it didn't have to go far to get him either.
And I love how Coach Sonny Dykes talked about it, and you broached the point. It would be wise if he played with a chip on his shoulder, but he's not necessarily.
He's businesslike. Nice read on his part into the end zone. It appears just shy. About a half yard. Inside the 1-yard line is where they'll spot it.
And you know it was a great mesh and fake because D. Winters just absolutely nailed the young running back in the backfield, TJ McDaniel. He thought he had the ball. And just a great job of meshing and convincing the defender that he's got it.
Boy, Alon Ali, the center's done a marvelous job blocking, too. Freeman the setback out of the shotgun. It's Freeman. He's in there. Touchdown. Pony up. The Mustangs have said we're still here. His 2nd touchdown.
Well, it's just an inside little mesh and a counter move.
Ooh.
Outstanding job of going the opposite direction of where Hayden Howerton, the left guard, was telling him to go. The defensive lineman was taking him that way, took the hole away, and he counter moved. Just great footwork. Outstanding.
You know, we don't care who wins, but that was a sweet, quick run. You mentioned foot in the ground. And there is the experience that has been kicking extra points and field goals. Luke Hogan hooked that one. Starts with the big catch. Paying it off to Robertson. And then stick that foot in the ground and stick that leather in the end zone. Kick is coming down to Darius Anderson. Look out! Will take himself out of bounds as the kicker was back there to wait 47 yards on this return by Anderson. Duggan keeping this play alive and gets outside the tackle box before throwing it away in the general direction of Tate Barber, number 4.
Timmy, you talk a lot about assisting the runner or the player. In that particular case, that last running play was a textbook example of how a running back can appreciate the fact that the lineman cannot see him. So when the defender flashes across his face, he knows that defender is chasing the back. So he can commit to taking the angle away from him, knowing that the back is going to cut back the opposite direction.
See those 9 carries, 108 yards, 77 of them coming on one play. Anderson again.
Patience.
Stop inside the 15 by Patrick Nelson.
Patrick Nelson had to come all the way from his will position to make that play, but once again, the patience of the inside zone read, just the patience and the eyeballs, the eye discipline. You see his body language says he wants to come front side, but his eyes were looking the direction he ultimately wanted to go. I'm talking, if you want to see a clinic on how to set a defense up by a back, body language pointing one direction, eyes looking for an open space.
12.9 yards per touch and tote by Darius Anderson. Rager's in the game, in the slot to the top of your screen. That's how you blow it up. Kinds of problems that time. Up the middle, Delonte Scott, senior from Irving, and a loss of 5.
See, on the mesh of any option scheme, I don't care what it is, if you can get on the other side of the line of scrimmage and get at that tilt angle, you can blow it up. If the mesh never has a chance to give you confusion or create confusion, you won't be confused because you'll tackle both the back and the quarterback. Oh,
he arrived,
great play.
He arrived quickly and in a bad frame of mind. Second down and 10. Kane tackled that time. Robinson, Delano Robinson, the first to get there. Pickup of 3. Think about where SMU is as a program when they reinstituted after the death penalty and Forrest Gregg came in. Had nice success for your old coach, June Jones, when he came to town.
Love June Jones, man. He's the guy that reinstituted the Jerry Levias Award.
Yeah. 3rd and 7.
Dick Winder and all those great guys. God rest his soul.
Duggan in trouble. Unloads it late. But in the general vicinity of a receiver, Pono Davis, 51, was coming through.
There's no
right
foul
up the
for
middle.
intentional grounding. Number 33 was an eligible receiver in the area of the pass.
Yeah, Olanolu was there, and he was aware of it. So it's 4th down, and Song is going to try another field goal from about his distance. 7 of 7 on the year with field goals, and this will be right at 30 yards away. Pono came through there with intentionality. Michael Bird, 31, will handle the hold. This, if it's a close game, could be the difference maker on here. Special teams. TCU makes it a 1-score game. C.J. Sanders is back deep. High and with room to roam. Sanders. And look at Rager. That's one-on-one right there.
You're getting a little excited on the sideline. The flags are coming out now.
You know. Quick out pattern taken by Xavier Jones. Now quality field position again here for SMU after the penalty on the kick. And now an opportunity for SMU to get back on the board before halftime. We've had a little bit of everything in this game, haven't we?
Yeah, it really has.
We had the flea flicker, big play on the opening series from SMU to the big kid Granson. Yep. And we've had turnovers and big plays in the special teams area as well since then.
This is what I've been.
Crochet.
Wow. The crochet with the stiff arm, man.
Yeah. A lot of contact as he was being hammered there by Trayvon Merrick, number 7. And that's a stiff arm that he received.
That's why you keep the near arm available. Now, in that case, you don't necessarily get extra yards out of it, but you let the guy know that you just can't run up here. Laissez-faire going to get a tackle here.
3rd down and 3. Crochet is up at the top. To the field side up at the top of your screen.
Attack the grass.
There they go. They got it for Granson again. This guy's made big play after big play. His 2nd reception of the day. First one went for 42 and set them up for their first score. This one for 16 yards. And it's Merrick again that made the tackle.
Look at the distance between where the receiver is that he checks down. There's not a defender to another 7 yards behind him.
Xavier Jones. That's strong running. I mean, he's just carrying people with him inside the 30. I think they're going to spot it at the 28-yard line. Look at that. 250 total yards. Look at that. Unbelievable what they've accomplished today. Xavier Jones burrows ahead for about 3 more.
It's been kind of ebb and flow. You know, Buechele started off 6 of 7, then he cooled down a little bit. Went 3 of the 10 last passing, and then now he's getting back going again. Completed 3 straight.
Well, he is a quarterback that you certainly want to take your shots with, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Let him go deep.
See, they've got this off coverage, and again, they've walked the linebacker out. Now it has TCU to kind of dissuade them from getting those cheap. But now when you move him inside, you still are vulnerable here. They're going to 4-cross look and play straight man. That's a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous formation.
Good movement there. Xavier Jones. Boy, these backs on both sides. Anderson for TCU. Xavier Jones for SMU have been dynamite today.
And Anderson's become kind of a long ball specialist. You remember the big run he had against Ohio State last year.
Jones again, stopped shy of the necessary yardage. And at State Farm halftime show with Rob Stone, Reggie Bush, Matt Lannert, Urban Meyer all coming up. As time winds down here in the first half.
Wow, 2 tights.
Freeman with another first down inside the 10. They'll spot it at the 9.
Hey, they go with 2 tights. That tight formation, they'll get wide out like a guy named Art Browse used to do. They run it inside. Great stuff. There you go. Stop fade. Got it.
Shoulder touchdown. Buechele.
Oh, that's what they've been looking for right there. Set yourself on the numbers to give you some cushion from the sideline. Press man coverage. It's you and me. Stop fade. The ball is already on its way. Turn that shoulder. Impossible to defend if you got your back turned to it. Kewan Stewart didn't have a chance to defend that play. From North Shore in the Houston area.
That was Roberts booting it through. Russell Roberts. But the show ponies from Dallas have come into Fort Worth and have the lead right now. Let's get you back to Rob Stone in Los Angeles. Rob, how do you do? In this part of the world, they'd say, get your best boots or your brogans on.
That's right.
Because we've got a good one. SMU with a 2-touchdown lead, surprisingly, over favored TCU. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, you'll hear from Coley Harvey momentarily. Veteran stewardship on display for Buechele, the son of Steve, who, of course, played in nearby Arlington with the Texas Rangers for so very long. Jalen Rager and DeMarcado are back deep awaiting this kick. Again, it's high sky, or squibber. They keep it in front of themselves, and it's covered up. Carter Ware on top of it. As you see, Coach Dykes, and here's Coley Harvey.
Yeah, now, Tim, I caught up with both coaches there at halftime, and Coach Dykes, when I asked him what does his team need to do to sustain that energy, he said it was before the game when he talked to his team, and he said that this is going to be a second-half game. He said that we were not trying to pin our hopes on the first half. He said it's going to be a battle of wills. He told that to his team all the way before the ball game. Asked for Gary Patterson and TCU. Well, he told me that we're getting our rear ends kicked, and I can let you fill in the blank on what he really said.
I'm guessing it was a little less diplomatic than that, but I hear you.
Well, they got to get something going in their throw game, Tim. They're 1 for 10.
Yeah, they've been one-dimensional, that's for sure. This kid he's been carrying them offensively. Darius Anderson, responsible for so much of their success. Armani Johnson gets him down, a gain of 5, second down and 5 yards coming up with the ball at the 31-yard line.
You're absolutely right about production of Anderson. He's produced 312 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns in the last 2 games. Again, with a big chunk of that, 179 coming against Purdue.
Remember those turnovers, and at least one on a zone read situation. Duggan and Anderson did not handle properly, so an unforced error. The others were forced by SMU.
SMU is emboldened now. They're showing pressure looks.
Look at that read by Anderson. Got to the line of scrimmage and said, okay, which way do I go? He cut to the right, and that's Abercrombie, 96, with the tackle.
Yeah, partner, what you're seeing now is adjustments. That hole was there with a little patient running. Now those linemen on the defensive side, as Coach Sonny Dykes looks on, is not committing like they were in the first half. So that cutback lane was not there on that particular play. So SMU making some solid adjustments on the defensive side.
3rd down and 2.
stimming on defense. How about that, Tim?
Taking a page from TCU.
Yeah.
Pre-snap stimming. Anderson, great cut.
Yeah, it's not back there like it's going to be in the first half. They've made that adjustment up front, and they're moving to those fronts. And again, by the time you get in your set and call the play, you can't get out of it. So they're going to have to find a way to make it happen.
Cox and Montgomery were able to collaborate on that stop, but he made the line to make, which gives them another first down at the 37-yard line. This is a very critical opening series to this half for TCU offensively. And I think, to your point, Spencer, getting the passing game going for this freshman quarterback is essential. Incomplete. Rushed that pass a little. It was Dylan Thomas, the intended receiver. He's now 1 of 11 in the air. And to me, the adrenaline flow has gotten to him a little bit. There's Sonny Cumbie, one of the great disciples of the air raid from Texas Tech, protege of Leach, Graham Harrell, Cliff Kingsbury, all of them. And decidedly running the football a lot more with this team for obvious reasons. And we've yet to see Alex Delton, which is frankly surprising. This kid's the better passer. Rager on a little bubble screen. He's stopped in his tracks at the 39-yard line. That's a negligible gain. A gain of only 2.
Well, the nose tackle was in the back of that backfield there. Davis, number 51, showed up from that nose tackle position. It got pressure early. They tried to run that bubble screen.
Spencer, this reminds me so much of what Kevin Kane did for Northern Illinois as defensive coordinator when they upset Nebraska in a game we saw
a
couple of years back. Young man is an outstanding defensive coordinator that Sonny Dykes picked up. I think he's got his best defense, does Dykes. Maybe his best defensive coordinator in his career as a head coach. Over the middle to a wide open receiver, Dylan Thomas. First down, 31-yard line of SMU. Brandon Stevens, the saving tackle.
They had a similar play. As you take a look at the eyes of the quarterback, they had a similar play in the first half with Richard McBride, the middle linebacker, dropping back in a deep zone, got the ball over the top of his head. This time they got it to him shallow in front of him, the coverage, and was able to make a huge play on the back end.
They've got to get number 1 unleashed in the passing game. One quick out, taken by Hunt.
Nice stiff arm by Hunt. Return back inside and roll for another 3.
Yeah, should be enough for another first down. Move the chains.
There's only one way to play this game. That's with high energy, and when you do that, you'll get those extra yards. Same goes true for the defensive players. You'll stop that player trying for more if you're at a high rate of speed and high energy. You're going to make mistakes. Do it full speed. It's a good game.
Play fake. Duggan's going to keep it. Good read. Gets it down near the 10-yard line. Richard McBride the stop. Pickup of 2.
SMU has been guessing pretty good on these little option decisions by their in rushers. It's missed on that play, though.
Boy, McBride, that's the transfer from Auburn, the graduate senior out of Troy, Alabama. He's played big, and Sonny Cumbie trying to figure out this SMU defense, which has been far more formidable than they're accustomed to seeing in this history. Fade pattern for Rager.
Not great defense.
It was. That's Johnson, Armani Johnson, that was right there with him. He's been assigned to Rager most of the afternoon.
Well, I love this confident stance. He's high in his stance, but he's able to come out and open up. But look at his eyes come back and try to locate the ball. That means he's claiming title to that ball as much as the receiver is. Excellent ball skills right there.
3rd and a long 8.
Well, he really looks good for a redshirt sophomore. The way he comports himself, he just looks like he's in total control.
Alana Lua now in the twin setbacks with Anderson. And they go fade again, this time to the corner. It is brought in. Prowell's touchdown. You love this kid on film, and that's why.
And Tim, whether it's from the H-back position or from his tight end slot. He missed one against Purdue that was high-pointed and didn't come up with that one. But this one right here, he completes it. This is just textbook athleticism going up. He's a physical guy, smart guy as well. And they love this kid, man. And they love what he does on the field anyway. He's a great athlete with great instincts and great ability.
Out of St. Petersburg and the Milford Academy, you could say pro is going to be one, as is Jalen Rager. In numero uno got it started, and then they went to the fade, and pro with a pro play. Well, they finally got pro well involved, and it counted in a very big way. That's hard to believe. It's his first career touchdown, but he just shot off the videotape to you in preparation for this game.
Well, he's 6'4", Tim, 235 pounds, and he's got this big body, and to be able to control it the way he does, like a wide receiver, it just jumps out at you.
Another fair catch is called for by Sanders. Buechele now rolling to the opposite side.
That's a good play.
And that's again Granson coming back to the ball just the way they teach you. And they're going to stop him at the 39-yard line. Here's a look at that previous play.
Yeah, and again, it was the separation that his height. Granson allows him to go high point that ball and pull it down and make an excellent catch on the side.
Boy, he is a threat, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Got a Gronk look about him. Jones, Xavier Jones down inside the 40. Inside to the 38-yard line. It's Keenan Reed making the tackle.
Well, Sean Mathis, number 32, the left defensive end. Watch him get a stiff arm right there. Punches him in the face, and then how he's directing traffic is Jones. He's getting downfield, using that stiff arm again. That's why you keep the ball in the right hand, so it's free to get an extra 2 yards.
Nice read, and the pass is good to Buechele. Young man celebrating a birthday today. Making the most of it. Could be some party tonight once they get back to their version of Heritage Hall on the campus of Southern Methodist University. Second down, a yard to go. Jones again. Wide open spaces, huh? It's that old leverage play. Get him going the other way, and boom, hit him.
Well, the success is Buechele is hit 6 straight passes. That's what's been the key for him. Now you got to respect that. Now you come back and get the run game working.
Jones up to 72 yards on 14 carries. Now they go empty. 5 wides, 4 up to the top. Looking forward.
I love it.
Back shoulder.
That's going to be beautiful.
Oh, how good was that?
There's going to be interference as well.
I mean, how good was that? A throw to the back shoulder.
That was a dart, man.
It was. Gladney is there in coverage with him.
And I love how he stuck him
out of bounds, but the flags were thrown.
Yeah, he pushed him out of bounds.
Clearly. I thought he had a shot at bringing it in. I really did.
Illegal touching. Offense. Number 8 went out of bounds. Came back in bounds. And it's the first touch of the ball.
Robertson asking for an explanation.
Spot. Loss of down. Second down. The period will be extended for 1 play.
Yeah, it cannot end on an offensive penalty, so they'll get 1 more play. That negates what would have been potentially a 20-yard gain. Boy, I don't know, Spencer.
I don't know about that, but I don't know if he even actually went out of bounds, Tim.
Again, the offensive interference was called, and they said he was out of bounds and came back in, which illegal touching means he's out of bounds, and I didn't see that, and I certainly didn't see any sign that he was out and then in.
Penalty includes a loss of down. By rule, the period cannot be extended. This is the end of the 3rd quarter.
What?
Sonny Dykes is not at all pleased to get that news. We'll take a look at it again. Big moment in this game. Does he go out of bounds? I think, well, that's the, well, yeah, right there. Right there. Right? With that right foot, it went out. Buechele scrambles out to get it to the 5-yard line, and thank you for that. We were, in essence, we would have probably understood more had there been a cap thrown rather than a flag thrown. That had us thinking maybe offensive interference, but illegal touching suggesting out of bounds. He clearly did step. But they are on the porch to success here, on the front porch again of another touchdown, as Xavier Jones is stopped by Blackshear 91. First lead entering the fourth quarter since the 2011 season. That was the year, of course, after the Rose Bowl win for TCU, and they struggled at those bounce-back seasons that Gary Patterson's had. That was during one of the roller coaster rides the other way.
9 straight completions for Buechele on this drive.
Buechele has been outstanding. Incomplete, thrown low at the feet of James Buechele. 3rd and goal coming up. And with the kicking game being in the position it is, Spencer, you know, a variety of calls could be coming your way if you're Gary Patterson.
No question about it. And again, I think the fact that they've established the context that they possibly could go with something funky puts you on high alert.
They go the other way. It's caught. Touchdown, Xavier Jones.
They had 2 options there. Buechele was actually coming on the shallow crossing route to create not necessarily a high-low, but both of them essentially were uncovered. It would have been a late read, but number 5 will work too.
Got a little mini wheel route here.
Yeah, he comes out and he turns inside, though. Doesn't have to turn over that opposite shoulder. Finds the ball, places it right in front of him. Nice catch.
His first touchdown reception of the year. Second touchdown of the day for Xavier. And it's going to be Russell Roberts, 97, who attempted the last one. It boots this one. And the Mustangs lead by 2 touchdowns. Just under 14 minutes remaining here at Amon G. Carter Stadium. By the way, Buechele has quarterbacked twice against TCU as a Texas quarterback and lost both times. Sky kick towards Rager.
That should be a penalty.
Look out, there is a penalty. Right at the point, and Rager's going to go down at the 42. Good call, my friend.
There'll be a block in the back, and they'll take them back further.
So the ball now at the 31 for TCU. Let's see if after the pep talk from the graduate assistant Kenny Hill, if Duggan can come back and get some completions here. Little curl taken by Dylan Thomas. Right in front of the defender, Delano Robinson. 6-yard pickup.
And once again, Richard McBride, the middle linebacker, was in there as well. They have obviously great confidence in his ability to not necessarily cover one-on-one, but in this situation right here, for example, he misses there.
How about this move? Dylan Thomas with a beautiful move. And you're right, he took advantage of the quickness of the defender.
Yeah, Trevor Midval was there. He came up, but he probably should have come under control. And as a result of not coming under control, he gets juked. Play that inside out with leverage. You don't make that play.
On first down, Duggan with plenty of time. This one's caught. Tight end, Lynn. Tay Mike. Artavius Lynn reels it in.
Tay Mike caught the tail end of that ball, and you love to see it, man, when it happens like that.
And they are being put to the test here in the latter stages with a 2-touchdown advantage. Duggan checks down and finds his man. That's Anderson again. Darius Anderson down to the 5.
Duggan does a nice job of understanding there's nothing downfield, coverage taking care of it. He's going to slip out as Anderson just checks down, and he probably could have got it to him even a little bit earlier than that, but decision made, results prove, quality control.
Quick out to Alalua. Shaywall Alalua, touchdown. Spencer, there are always times when a quarterback can grow up, and I think Duggan may have on this drive.
Alalua gave him some help, too, along with Anderson. Again, I like the fact that they relied on the ground game, despite the fact, as you pointed out, his tick numbers have gone up for completions, but rely on what got you here to this point, the run game.
Song right through the uprights. 9:43 left. That Kenny Hill pep talk came in handy for the freshman, didn't it? Got his second wind, and now it's a 1-score game. C.J. Sanders awaits the kick as TCU has cut it to 7.
That Auburn team is breaking in a new quarterback as well, and so that narrative is going to play well for them if they continue to play at a high level like they've been.
Sanders will take a knee for the touchback. And let's go down to Coley Harvey, who has some background on tremendous history in college football in this, the 150th year.
Yeah, absolutely, Tim. And in fact, you'll see the number 23 was worn by Rodney Clemens here with SMU. And the reason why that's important is because the number 23 at SMU, that was the same number worn by Jerry Levias back in the mid-'60s. Levias was the first African-American player to get a scholarship, not only at SMU, but also in the old Southwest Conference. That's obviously some very important history that this team really cherishes and honors.
Indeed. Means a great deal to you too, Spencer. T.J. McDaniels in the backfield takes this little swing pattern, and he's got a first down. Actually, that's Buechele taking the pass, and he gets a first down. Here's what it means to you, Spencer. When you made it to San Francisco as a free agent, you changed your number.
We were fully woke, Tim, as you can say that. We try to walk lightly with it, but that is a very significant fact of history with Jerry Levias, who's a dear friend of mine now, and spoke with him just a couple of days ago. And I asked Coach Sonny, say, look, do you guys really comprehend what it meant? And you look out on the field today and you see, and it's just a truth of where we are right now, that 62% of the players at the Division I level happen to be minorities in starting capacity. And that's a significant note.
2nd and 10. Buechele again on a streak down the sideline, and it's caught. Robertson. They are going for the gusto here. There is no conservative nature in this offense whatsoever.
It's a double move or the shake move on the outside. We used to call it a drag slant. Or if it's the opposite, he's going to the outside. It's just an up and out.
4 receptions, 122 yards. That's 30.5 yards per catch for Reggie Robertson today. The transfer from West Virginia.
Tim, since late in the second quarter, Buechele is 13 of 15 in passing.
Wow. There's Buechele. The guy they turn to on possession circumstances, and this is certainly one of those. Did get out of bounds, however, to stop the clock. 7:28 remaining. Pick up a 4. 2nd and 6. Batted down. Winters coming through there.
Yeah, that was just as well. They were trying to go into the inside receiver for a little sneak route, but they had what we call a banjo coverage, had him covered inside out. The Winters coming, that can feel the chill, and he blocked it, knocked it down. Great defensive play.
Out of Broken Arrow High School, small AA school in the state, and has played big. 3rd down and 6 now. Daniel remains the setback. He gets it, and he's hammered, stoned, and that's Wallow again. Need a big play. Number 30 in purple's got it for you.
I think that's his 18th tackle of the day. It's been a huge stat, man. But
here comes that moment of truth now, Spencer. Who do you bring in? It looks like it's going to be Roberts again. Russell Roberts. He's tried once. He's missed. Listed as a freshman. Transferred from Middle Tennessee State, originally from Jackson and Jackson Prep in Mississippi, the two state championships at that level. This is 32 yards. Biggest kick of his life.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Not necessarily the prettiest, but right through the uprights. And importantly, a 2-score lead, 41-31 with 6 and change remaining. Stay right where you are. 41-31, 6:36 remaining. And now TCU has to be thinking score, but they also have to be thinking clock while scoring.
And that made field goal actually helps Kevin Kane on the back end of SMU's defense navigate without having to worry about. They can be one-dimensional. In other words, they know that the ball has to be thrown to move it down the field.
Kid coverage is also a key for SMU. They've struggled in that area too. Here's Rager. He could, as they say, in one play make a difference. There's a flag. And there goes Rager again. He gives you about half of the field, but this thrown in an area where you're thinking block in the back or clip.
It's bend but don't break. Another 3-man front here. Play coverage on the back end.
Duggan on the check down. That pass thrown a little behind Dylan Thomas, but I'm sure he knows that he could have caught it and therefore should have.
That's what you got to do. You got to catch them. If they're going to play zone and back people out of there with no pass rush, the quarterback is going to have plenty of time. You have to compliment him and catch the football.
Prowell's had that big touchdown catch, but he hasn't had many receptions on the day, and Rager for the most part has been handled very well by the secondary of SMU.
5-yard cushions on either side by the cover men.
Duggan.
They got to catch him.
Well, he decides to throw it away. You know, Spencer, I thought he could have run for about 8 or 9 there.
He possibly could have, but in the tradition that he's kind of been steeped in, it's about finding the man, the open man downfield, and running to create opportunities. But he was to the short side of the field. There was no one over there, the coverage. It always rolled back to the opposite direction. His eyes is looking inside. He's trying to create a play.
Look at that green grass he had.
I agree with you, but he's trying to create a play. He's looking back inside to make a difficult throw, perhaps. Let's see what he does with this trips formation to the top.
Good pressure there from SMU. 3rd and 10. Trips to the top of your screen. Corner blitz. Over the middle. Flag. Will we see one? Yes, we will. It was picked by Callaway 11. But there was clear interference that took place.
I think they may get Patrick
Pass
Nelson.
interference. Defense, number 2.
Yep, good call.
15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Yeah, Patrick Nelson had that right hand on the hip, and he actually climbed up on the back of the receiver and on that crossing route. And a star player that sits back there at that will linebacker position, he has an interception. 1.6 sacks per game. Yeah. He's all over the place for him. He's a playmaker. A little bit too much contact there.
From the 49, first down with Rager in motion. Anderson still the setback.
I like this matchup. We need to get some help over the top with Rager out there. They're rolling that safety.
Goes with a swing pass out to Anderson. Not much there. Maybe a yard, if that. And Armani Johnson, number 5, stops him. No gain on the play, so they'll keep it at the 49-yard line. 2nd and 10.
Bend but don't break.
Don't see a lot of vertical routes being run here. There is Alanalua. He missed him. He was wide open. Now he's got to run. He's flushed. Well, Spencer, he had Alanalua absolutely wide open at the 40-yard line, 33 out of the backfield, and missed him. But he did have the presence of mind to pull it.
Yeah, this is a similar play that you were alluding to early when they're escaping to the field, the far side of the field. Instead of trying to throw it away or find a receiver inside, he just pulled it down and ran with it. You can do that when you're running to the wide side of the field because it just takes a while for those receivers to get back to the opposite side.
Anderson. He jitterbugs ahead for 5 to the 35-yard line, but the clock continues to tick with 4 and change. Cromartie, Chase Cromartie was a stop.
They know Robinson tried to get a hand on him, and he just juked him.
Over the middle. There he is. That's Stevens, John Stevens Jr. with the catch. And a first down, a gain of 11, so the clock stops. TCU still with 2 timeouts remaining. Sonny Cumbie trying to get this done and get it done quickly. Duggan with plenty of time. Now he runs. Look at that spin move.
How about that?
How about that? That freshman coming of age. It's a first down, 11 yards. A little spin, baby, spin that time from Duggan.
Toby Nukwe had a chance to get him, but it just spun right out of his hands.
Now they go fade. In the corner, incomplete. It was Darius Davis working on Armani Johnson.
How about whirling dervish?
Yeah.
How about that move?
Spin, baby, spin.
McBride, first of all, he got additional yards after that. Previous play, just great defense by Johnson.
No face guarding in the collegiate game. Nope. He's thinking, well, where was the flag? Anderson, the setback. On 2nd and 10. That ball is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Great penetration from SMU up front.
I think that was Demrick Gary got there, number 10.
Yep. Demrick, senior from Kimball High School in Dallas.
Yeah, he's just 6'3", which is not that terribly tall, but when you get that hand extended, 275-pounder, batted that one down. Great time.
3rd and 10. They do need 2 scores, so if they don't convert here, a likely field goal try. But you know they want the conversion. Over the middle, the tight end. It's Wells. Touchdown.
Here's the ISO. Here's Crowell inside number 81. He wants to go inside, so he's wider in his stance to create a soft spot in that zone. And that big body, 6'3", 240-plus pounds of his, around 38 actually. He turns that inside. There's no way you can stop that, man.
I tell you, Spencer, between Crowell's 81 and Kylan Granson 83 for SMU, we've seen some big-time tight end play this afternoon. It's a 3-point game, 3:37 in regulation. We're not in the business ever of rooting for teams, but you have to root for people, young men, no matter what color the uniform. This kid, after a 1 of 11 start, he gets a little chat from Kenny Hill, who's been there, done that. In the last 2 series, he's been lights out, Spencer.
And that's what you're celebrating. Again, this football is life. It's about the overcoming from series to series, week to week, overcoming injuries and games, and over the course of a year. That's what we're witnessing in real time here. This is exciting stuff.
Be a touchback. SMU will have it. Let's see if they're as aggressive here as they were trying to get a 10-point lead. Garrett Wallow with that stop as they go right up the gut using Xavier Jones.
Yeah, they're going to
timeout. TCU, their second, 30 seconds.
Trying to leave as much clock on their side offensively, provided they get it back with a stop. TCU now with 1 timeout remaining. Well, SMU, a very talented team, albeit not in a power conference.
It just goes to reiterate, the college football world is flat. We get beaten to death talking about it.
Look at this. What are they going to do? They get down on it. Well, that was almost a safety. Wow. It'll go back to the 3. So a problem with the center exchange there. A mix-up between Buechele and the center, 77, Alon Ali.
Buechele's eyes went the opposite direction, and he turned and looked to his left. It was not trained on the ball of the center. He was looking on the edges to get a read or a key. Now, these days, these kids don't read coverages in the strictest sense. They read keys and half-field looks.
Wow.
And his eyes were not trained where they needed to be, and that's on the ball.
Loss of 23, 3rd and 32, but now it's about not giving up a safety.
Yep.
You could, but you don't want to if you're SMU. And it's Xavier Jones ahead to the 5.
Well, we said before, field position is going to be huge, whether it's due to mistakes or whatever.
Timeout.
Absolutely huge.
TCU, their 3rd and final, 30 seconds.
And it's Trevor Denbow, who, by the way, has hit a 55-yarder, but also with that line drive style, has gone short by hitting his own teammates while they were going down in coverage.
He better not be sliding to the... He's going to hit.
Yeah, and Rager could feel this one on a bounce. They kick it away from him. Wisely so. That's good strategy, but how about the field position? Only a 38-yard boot. The good news is Rager didn't touch it. The bad news is TCU has a chance to win it with the ball in their possession at the 41 of SMU.
They burned all those times out. You got to wonder, are they tooled up to finish strong this way, the way that they'll have to?
All began really for Duggan with that conversation with Kenny Hill, didn't it? Then 2 straight drives that led to touchdowns.
And he responded in kind. You know, he put the ball down when he needed to, checked it down, got it wide to his receivers and his big back to get in for a score. So he did everything they asked him to do. Didn't get the ball down the field vertically, but he played to their strengths, which is running to the football.
Darius Anderson is the setback. Plenty of time to work with. They go with the handoff, and he's down to the 35. Spencer, you can make a case that SMU could have taken a safety, put the ball back on the 30-yard line, and then free kicked from there.
No question.
And had a much better scenario in terms of field position.
Given the way that TCU, you know they're going to have to score, it would have given them a long field. Certainly would have been a great strategy.
2nd and 5. That's Anderson. He looks to be about 3 yards shy. Delano Robinson with the stop. There's Song. about his distance, really. His length is 42 to 43. That's about the distance where the confidence level for Gary Patterson is good. Anything longer than that, not so much.
See how Kevin Kane tries to defend this. He's got an extra body down by the line of scrimmage now, so not a pure three-man rush like we saw the previous drive. He's got 5 and almost got a blitz look here. They're all
He dropped the ball. Duggan's going to have to ad-lib, and he is lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Well, now you really have to make a play.
Just like his counterpart did on the previous series, wasn't even looking. You know, the cauldron, the pressure cooker tends to do this to you. And what's routine oftentimes is difficult.
And no timeout, Spencer.
Yep.
You got to make a play now.
You see, those eyes were already set going the opposite direction where he needed to be. Needed to complete the base play, seat the football first, then execute. Just a little bit too anxious. Eye discipline.
Anderson, the setback. Freshman error. Let's see if he can atone here on 4th down. This is your pressure. Here he comes. He loops it. It's incomplete. Delano Robinson was in position, and SMU takes over on downs. Patrick Nelson came strong, unabated.
Well, to just show you, Delano Robinson, obviously you're going to be turned over on downs anyway, but he got so hyped up, he could have just picked the ball up. Not that it would have mattered, but just watch how wide open he was and could have just hugged that ball and padded his stats with an interception.
Well, Duggan lives and learns as a freshman after that error. Here you see the move by Patrick Nelson. He just comes unabated.
Well, that was a busted assignment there on the front. You know, usually those tackles will take the bigger guy, but if the bigger guy comes wide or doesn't come at all, you got to get to the inside.
Spencer, how much does this mean to SMU?
Huge.
And there's Kenny Hill again with Duggan.
You got to go back to 1984, Timmy.
Well, this is a heck of a league. South Florida, Tulsa's got an outstanding defense. So you look at our Coors Light road ahead, made to chill, celebrate responsibly. And another top 25 team goes down in college football. SMU with a signature win, ending a 7-game losing streak in the battle for the Iron Skillet. And these two coaches who have worked together only within the last couple of years, know so much about one another, meet at midfield.
Think they'll get any votes this week?
I think the Mustangs deserve a few. Yeah. There was one vote.
Yeah, that's my point.
There was only one vote in that AP poll. Well, actually, the coaches poll. Yeah. It was one coach that voted for SMU. Very happy Sonny Dykes is downstairs with Coley Harvey.
Coach, this program is now 4-0 for the first time since 1984 with that start. What do you say to that?
Well, proud of our guys' effort today. Made some plays down the stretch and clutch. You know, we gave away some points, you know, early. We got 3 turnovers in the first half we didn't do a lot with. And against a good football team, it's hard to overcome that. But our guys really played hard. Love the way they fought. Really proud of them.
You know, you said to me at halftime that this was going to be a second-half game. That's what you told your team before the game. What'd you think of that second?
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a 60-minute game, come down to the very end. And, you know, we just felt like our guys really were going to play hard for 60 minutes. If we did, we had a chance to win.
There you go. Congratulations to you, Coach.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
1984, Coley, was 3 years before the death penalty. And look how far they've come since Sonny Dykes has been there. Now we're going to take you to our Major League Baseball coverage for our entire crew. Spencer Tillman, Coley Harvey, Tim Brando, so long. Out to the Indians and Phillies. Justin Kutcher, Tom Verducci.